All right, Nick, let's talk about the LSU Tigers. This is a team who we all know last year had an excellent offense with Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors. This offense was one of the best in the country, and you saw it time in and time again of how talented they were. Defense, on the other hand, had a few shortcomings, especially remember the game FSU at the beginning of the season. That was one where the defense really let them down a little bit. I think the defense could step up at times, but I think now, with new defensive coordinator in here, I think this team is really starting to look a lot different on the defensive side of the ball. And I think the players on this defense are loving it. Let's get into the article. We can talk more about it on the other side. This, of course, from the Daily Advertiser. A big grin flashed across sophomore cornerback Javian Taviano's face when he was asked what to describe what he's noticed about the new defensive coordinator Blake Baker's new scheme and defensive playbook. He said, I would say it's attacking. A few defensive players have said this spring that they've been at task with playing more in their opponent's face, much more than last season. Toviano said that he believes that the more pressing attack on defense fits the mold of LSU's current corners and defensive backs well. So from this short snippet of the article, it sounds like LSU a bit more aggressive and attacking on defense, which fits them scheme-wise and talent-wise on the roster from the players themselves. They said they really like this a lot more. I'm curious what your thoughts are on Baker's new defensive scheme and what this means for LSU, but LSU fans in the comment section below. Spring ball is here. I think the defense is something to watch. I think there's a lot of key parts here, but just let us know overall in the comment section below. What are you looking for most out of spring ball? What are you keeping your eyes on? What kind of things are you looking for to see how things have changed? Let us know in the comment section below. But Nick, what are your thoughts on this latest potential scheme shift for the Tigers on defense?
Thank you. That's the words that I'm saying, and that's a word every LSU Tiger fan should be saying, because there is a common rule in terms of defensive strategy. If you are clearly more talented, you play more aggressive, you play press, right? I hate the mentality of dropping back into soft shell zone coverages, giving up 5, 6, 7 yard completions, and then coming up and making the tackle. I absolutely hate that when you're the better team. I understand you have to do that if you don't have the horses to run with elite wide receivers, if you're not the more talented team. LSU clearly, compared to 95% of the teams in college football, is going to be more talented. They should play more press. And I'll give you an example of this from my playing days. Granted, I played D1 AA, FCS, small college football, but one year, we went up to play Clemson. Obviously, they paid us a lot of money. They beat us by 50 points. But going into the game, watching what they did during the game, they essentially, when they were playing our offense, basically played press man across the board, press coverage, all the DBs in everybody's face. And, it's one of those things. It's like they played that way because they knew they were so much more talented. They knew they didn't have to worry about getting beat over the top because their corners were so much better than our receivers. So they were able to play that way. While the talent gap between LSU and a lot of their competition won't be that vast, the reality is LSU at defensive back historically, and I think even now in a lot of ways, is better than the vast majority of their competition at wide receiver. They should play a lot more press. I thought last year it was a lot of soft zone coverages. It was a lot of, hey, let's make them complete the pass, come up and tackle. Let's get to 3rd and 2. Let's do bend but don't break stuff. Maybe the offense will eventually make a mistake. That's a phenomenal strategy if you're Ole Miss, right? If you're Arkansas, right? If you're a second-rate team in the SEC, not trying to bash those programs at all. Ole Miss has become a very good football team, but historically, they do not have the talent level as an LSU. If you're LSU, that's not how you play. You get in people's faces. You have the talent to do so. That's exactly what you should be doing on defense. And that's exactly why they brought in Baker, because he used that mentality, by the way, at Missouri, and he did a great job recruiting and allowed them to almost exceed what people expected. I think that's one of the reasons why Missouri was so good defensively, is that a lot of people thought they were going to do a lot of soft zone coverage, but they were very pressing and against it, and they did a good job recruiting some DBs, and they had a really good defense because of that. Baker down to LSU, they already have a lot of great DBs. They'll continue to recruit even more great DBs. Now they can go full force into this pressing style coverage, man on man, jam the receivers at the line of scrimmage. That kind of mentality, that kind of scheme was exactly what LSU needed to take a big leap on defense in 2024. I'm really excited to see what Baker's doing. I think it's just exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, Nick, and I think this is great for a lot of reasons. Mainly, I talked about how last season LSU excellent offense. Talked about Jaden Daniels. Talked about Malik Neighbors. Guess who's not there this season? Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and a lot of players from that lead offense. I think they're going to be good on offense. I think, the new recruit Colin Hurley coming in, he looks interesting at the quarterback position. I still think they're going to be fine offensively. But when they haven't established anything yet, when you don't know the offensive identity of this team quite yet, because we haven't seen it hit the field, for the defense to come out and play more aggressive, make more plays, play more press, like you said, it's going to help the offense find their groove a little bit more. So I think this is much needed. Like you said, it's just what the doctor ordered for both sides of the football. We're going to see this offense have, a little bit of confidence in themselves to say, hey, if we can't get it done, if something happens, our defense can come out on the field. They're much more aggressive now. They're not a passive defense. They're going to make the plays and they're going to get us back on the field, whether it's, 3-and-out, whether it's turnovers. This is a defense who can get the job done for us. That wasn't the case last year. The case last year was Jaden Daniels is going to score another touchdown, so it doesn't matter what's going to happen. As long as we slow him down a little bit and give Jaden one more drive, he can score the touchdown to win the game. So I think flipping roles is going to make this offense better by default, but obviously the defense is going to look a lot better as well. So I'm excited to see how this LSU team develops down the season, because I think we're going to see the defense come on very, very strong, but it'll help the offense grow down the stretch.